What's up, guys? This is gonna be a little informative video. I'm just been building up to this, and I'm sort of disgusted by it, and just how everybody praises Powdercoat and everything. This is just my opinion. I'm gonna tell you right that up front, and I prefer. I love paint. I just love the finish. I love the experience you need to do it, and just the repairability of it. Powder coat, you can't really compare it to paint because it's nothing compared to paint. It's not as labor intensive. You don't need a skill to really do it. You can really do whatever you want with it. There's no running. You don't have to watch like you watch paint, and powder coat's sort of baked on, so it's pretty much just a vinyl wrap over your piece. It eventually is gonna lose its I guess they call it electrosis. I don't even know if that's the word, but it eventually pulls away from the surface, and you leave with like bare metal like this. I've noticed a lot of things with these powder coating companies, and the bumper companies, any type of off-roading companies, or aftermarket companies that oh, it's powder coated, it's the most durable finish out there. Well, it is and it isn't. The downfall of it is this. Now this is a plasma table I got 2 years ago. I can tell you right off the back, we didn't want it powder coated, but they gave us a ridiculous price, and they would not let this leave their shop without any type of protection on it. So we just let them do what they do. I sent it out to powder coat, and they got it back and assembled it, and it is what it is. I mean, it's metal, so it's going to take a long time for this to even rust through or have any issues. But as you can see here, this is what I'm talking about. Painting, there is prep involved, and you always have to have a sandable surface or sanded surface, primer, promotion, like adhesion promotion, and all types of stuff. With different metals you work with, like aluminum's different than regular bare carbon steel. This shows no prep, so this is just a bare metal surface, and that's what you do. There's no, it doesn't matter if you scuff it down or anything. It's always gonna flake apart like this. This is a result of a little puncture, or a little air pocket that maybe opened up to the underneath, and it just got in between and started peeling it away. So try and get a good piece, but you see how it's just like, yes, paint flakes and such. There you go, there's a good piece. This is what happens to powder coat. Gets behind there, it pushes it off, and then ultimately it just peels off. I'm not saying paint doesn't do this. If you don't prep it right, paint will do this, but there's no prep involved in doing this. Powder coat was invented just to throw a person in there that has no knowledge. They charge the part, spray it all with the powder, and throw it in an oven, bake it at 400 or whatever degrees that they need to bake it at for however long. They pull it out, that's it, that's done. So, but this, you can tell there's no prep on there, and this is all shiny. So powder coat's not really adhering to the surface. It's just shrink wrapping, and it's like a heated shrink wrap on your piece. So say take a bumper, you know, it might look good the first year, second year, depending on how many rock chips get into it. But eventually it's going to start flaking. Once it starts flaking, this is it. This is done. I have to take this whole thing apart and I have to sandblast this entire thing and get this entire finish off and then paint it. You can't paint over this, you can't fix it, you can't touch it up, you can't do anything. Because all it's gonna do is you're gonna spray that area, it doesn't matter. You spray that area, it's gonna do this in another spot. It's just gonna keep on doing it until there's nothing left. So, this was my 2 cents on this. You know, it's not worth it, because in the long run, you're gonna end up redoing it. You know, if this was paint, I would be able to, you know, sort of sand it out and, you know, feather the edges and maybe, you know, touch it up, let it dry, and then it's, you know, it's back to new for however long. But this, I can't do anything with this. I mean, this is a lost cause, the finish on it. I'm not saying necessarily that, you know, the back, but now you have all these rust spots that build up in the back, and they have moisture. It's all moisture that gets behind there. I mean, you're not gonna prevent it no matter what you do. It doesn't matter if you know your best powder coater or anything. Paint's always gonna be better than powder coat. Powder coat is a production finish. It's meant to just throw hundreds or thousands, however big the booth they have and however many people they have working for them, with no knowledge of really how to do this. It's not really that complicated to powder coat. It doesn't involve the skills and experience that it takes to paint. Paint, you always have to watch, make sure you don't have any runs, make sure, you know, it's atomizing the right way, and, you know, there's so many variables. It can't be humid, it can't be, you know, too cold, because then it won't bond to the surface. There's so many variables that come into play for paint. So that's my 2 cents, guys. And I hope I persuaded some people to stay away from powder coat. But for, you know, it's ultimately up to you for your decision, because I'm just showing you my experience with powder coat. And I see this everywhere with powder coat. I have friends' bumpers that are peeling away, that they completely peeled off, and they just decided to take it off, sandblast it, and paint it, or even rhino-line it, which that is just as bad as powder coat, but at least it's a little bit of better bond to the surface. This is essentially just a giant shrink wrap that's electrified, but once that electrification, trying to sound smart, but, you know, it just pains me to see all this. You know, you have all this work and everything just to put on a finish that's cheap, efficient, and, you know, it's just a production run. You can get a ton of these done, you know, without the dry time of paint and all. But like I said, the ultimate decision is up to you, and whether you choose to go powder coat or to have somebody paint it. That is the reason why powder coat's cheaper, and paint's always going to be more, and the finishes are going to be so much better from painted to powder coat. Powder coat, you're always going to have a type of orange peel. You can have the rough finish, like this has a rough finish, so it doesn't look that bad. But if this was a regular cleared finish, or, you know, regular gloss black, it would have a lot of orange peel, and it would be pronounced. You know, it's just, that's my 2 cents. My rant's over. I hope this, you know, sort of sort of made you understand powder coat a little more. I'm sure there's a lot of other videos out there, but this is just my video to you, my advice. It's just a shame to put powder coat over something and, you know, ultimately it's just going to peel apart and the finish is going to be what I say, shit. So with that, I will see you guys. Thank you for watching, and I guess have a good day. Later.